What if the pain someone caused you was never meant to destroy you, but to transform you? Why do those who hurt us seem to walk away freely while we carry the scars they left behind? Imagine a justice so divine, so complete, that even your deepest wounds are turned into your greatest victories. I end this journey. We're not just exploring pain. We're uncovering how God's justice rewrites every betrayal into a testimony of strength. Here's how God truly handles those who try to break you. Have you ever wondered why the people who hurt you seem to go unpunished? Why the ones who betrayed you, broke your trust, and left you in pain seem to move on as if nothing happened? You gave them kindness, yet they repaid you with pain. You were loyal, yet they treated you like you never mattered. And now you're left carrying the weight of their actions while they walk away free. But here's what you need to know: nothing goes unseen, nothing goes unnoticed. God sees it all. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, you will understand how He deals with those who hurt you and why their actions will never go unanswered. You'll discover a truth that will set you free from the pain they left behind. Because right now, I know what you feel: the anger, the disappointment, the confusion. You ask yourself, why me? Why do the people with the worst intentions seem to get ahead while you struggle with the wounds they left behind? You replay the moments in your head, the words they said, the way they turned their back on you. It's like an echo that refuses to fade. And the hardest part, you never saw it coming. The people you trusted the most were the ones who caused you the deepest pain. They were supposed to stand by you, but instead they became the very reason you lost yourself for a while. And the more you think about it, the more you wonder, where's justice? Where's the fairness in all of this? But listen carefully, God is not blind. He is not ignoring your pain. In fact, He is working in ways you cannot see right now. Because while you're sitting there wondering why life is unfair, God is setting things in motion. He is preparing a response that is greater than your imagination. But here's what you need to understand: God's justice does not work like human justice. You want to see them suffer the way you suffered. You want to see them feel what you felt, but God does not operate in emotions. He moves in divine timing, and when He moves, His justice is far greater than anything you could ever plan for yourself. Right now, you may feel weak, you may feel like they won, like they got away with what they did. But what if it told you that your pain is temporary, but their consequences are permanent? What if I told you that the very people who hurt you will one day look back and realize the weight of their actions? Some people don't realize what they've done until it's too late. So here's the truth: you don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to waste your energy wishing for their downfall, because God is already handling it. Every tear you cried, every night you couldn't sleep, every moment of doubt, He saw it all, and He is not ignoring it. But here's the real question: what will you do while He works? Will you stay stuck in anger, reliving the pain over and over? Or will you step into faith, trusting that God will handle it for you? Because your life is too valuable to be spent carrying the weight of someone else's wrongdoing. You are not created to live in the shadows of what they did you. We're created for more, and this is just the beginning. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand why you don't have to fight this battle alone. You will see how God turns pain into power, and how those who hurt you will one day have no choice but to watch you rise. But if God sees everything, why does it still feel like injustice wins? Why do the ones who cause pain walk freely while the ones who suffer are left picking up the broken pieces? It's because pain has a purpose, right? Now your heart is searching for answers. You want to understand why life allowed you to go through this, why the ones who hurt you seem to move forward without consequences. But here's what most people don't realize: pain is not just suffering, it is transformation. The moment you were betrayed, something inside You changed the person you used to be, the one who was blind to their deception, the one who trusted too easily, the one who gave without question. That version of you no longer exists. You were forced into a new reality, a reality that demanded strength, awareness, and wisdom. This is where most people make a mistake. They let pain break them instead of build them. They allow the bitterness to take over. They waste years carrying the burden of betrayal, waiting for justice, waiting for karma, waiting for the day their enemies suffer. But what if I told you that by doing this, you were giving them power over you? The greatest trick of those who hurt you is making you believe that you're still there. Victim, but you're not. You're not defined by their actions. You're defined by what you do next. So here's the truth. Your pain is not proof that God has abandoned you. It is proof that He is preparing you. Because when injustice strikes, you are left with two choices: stay trapped in the past or step into the future that was meant for you. Those who hurt you may seem like they are winning, but they are not, because while they remain the same, you are evolving, and soon they will see it. You may feel like no one understands what you've been through, that no one truly sees the depth of your pain, but God does. Every sleepless night, every silent tear, every moment you swallowed your pain just to keep going, He saw it all. You were never alone in your suffering, even when it felt like the world had moved on, even when the people who hurt you showed no remorse. God was watching. And here's what you need to understand: nothing goes unnoticed in His eyes. The lies they told, the manipulation, the betrayal, and the way they acted like they did nothing wrong, all of it is recorded. Every action they took against you is a seed planted in the ground. And in due time, that seed will grow. Because here's the reality: no one escapes God's justice. They may fool people, they may even fool themselves, but they can never fool Him. Some people believe they can walk through life hurting others without consequences. They mistake God's patience for His permission. But He is not ignoring their actions. He is simply giving them time to change. And if they refuse to change, if they refuse to acknowledge their wrongdoing, then justice will come fully complete and in ways they never expected. But you do not have to carry this burden anymore. It is not your job to make them see what they did. It is not your responsibility to make them feel the weight of their actions. That is God's work. And when the time is right, He will handle it in a way that is far greater than anything you could ever do. So breathe, release the anger, let go of the need for revenge. Because the same God who saw you in pain is the same God who will lift you up in front of those who try to break you. If God sees everything, if He knows the pain you've endured, then why did He allow it? Why didn't He stop them before they could hurt you? Why did He let you go through betrayal, heartbreak, and disappointment? Because every pain carries a test, not a test to break you, but a test to reveal. You see, people think pain is only about suffering, but in reality, pain is a mirror. It shows you who you really are. It exposes your strength, your resilience, and your faith. It strips away the illusions, the fake friendships, the shallow connections, and leaves you face to face with the truth. Who are you when everything falls apart? Will you let your heart harden? Will you let the bitterness consume you? Will you become like the very people who hurt you? Or will you rise? This is where most people fail the test. They allow pain to turn them into someone they were never meant to be. They let hatred fill the spaces where love used to live. They build walls so high that no one can ever get close again. And in doing so, they lose themselves. But that is not your path, because here's what you don't see right now. This pain is shaping you. It is refining you. It is making you wiser, stronger, and more powerful than you have ever been. What they did to you is wrong, but what God is doing through you is greater. The test was never about them. It was always about you. And when you pass this test, when you refuse to let their actions define you, when you refuse to let their betray rail poison your heart. That is when you win, because while they remain stuck in their ways, you will evolve, and one day they will see the person they tried to break, standing in a place they could never reach. When someone hurts you, the first instinct is to make them feel what you felt, to show them the pain they caused, to make them regret ever crossing you. But here's the truth: revenge is a trap. It feels like power, but it's actually changed. The moment you seek revenge, you tie yourself to the very person who wounded you. You think you're taking control, but in reality, you're giving them more of your energy, your time, and your mind, and that is exactly what they don't deserve. Because while you sit there replaying what they did, plotting ways to get even, they've already moved on. While you're stuck in the cycle of anger, they're out there living their life unaffected, unbothered. And that should tell you something: they were never worth your people peace. God never said justice wouldn't come. He never said the people who hurt you would escape their consequences, but he did say vengeance is mine, because he knows something you don't. True justice is beyond your understanding. You might think that making them suffer will satisfy you, but will it? Even if they feel pain, even if they experience loss, will it undo what they did to you? Will it erase the past? No, it will only keep you trapped in it. That's why letting go is not weakness, it is power. It is stepping out of the past and stepping into your future. It is refusing to waste one more second of your life on someone who is never meant to stay. Letting go does not mean they won. It means you chose to win, because while they are busy living the same small life, making the same mistakes, you are rising, you are growing, and one day they will look up and realize they lost someone they could never replace. Human justice demands instant results. You want to see them pay for what they did. You want to watch their world fall apart the way they try to destroy yours. You want proof that karma is real, that people don't get away with hurting others both ears. Where most people get it wrong, God's justice does not work on human timing. You think nothing is happening because you don't see it. But what if I told you that justice is already in motion, that the moment they hurt you, the moment they broke your trust, a spiritual consequence was set in place? See, people mistake God's silence for his absence. They think because nothing happens right away, they got away with it. They continue living unaware that their actions are writing a future. They cannot escape. God's justice is not loud. It isn't dramatic. It is not rushed. But it is certain. Some people will lose things they never thought they'd lose. Some will wake up one day and realize they've been walking in circles, trapped by the same mistakes, unable to move forward. Others will be forced to watch you rise while they remain stuck in the life they created for themselves. And that is the worst punishment of all. Not a single event of suffering, but a life of emptiness, a life where no matter what they do, they cannot find true joy, true peace, true love, because they destroyed the very things that could have saved them. This is why you don't have to waste your energy chasing justice. God is already handling it. And when the time is right, they will feel the weight of their actions, not because you forced it, but because God's law cannot be broken. So don't ask, why haven't they suffered yet? Instead, ask, why am I still waiting to live my life? Because while they're heading toward their own consequences, your future is waiting. Holding on to pain feels like protection. You think that if you remember what they did, if you keep the anger alive, you'll never be hurt like that again. You build walls, you replay the betrayal in your mind. You tell yourself that moving on means they won. But here's the truth: holding on doesn't protect you, it poisons you. The longer you hold on to resentment, the more power you give them over your life. They may be gone, but their actions still control your thought, your emotion, your peace. And that is exactly what they don't deserve. Letting go is not saying what they did was okay. It's not pretending it didn't happen. Letting go means you refuse to let their actions define your future. because every second you waste on anger is a second stolen from your own happiness. And here's what most people don't realize: letting go is not a weakness. It is a weapon. It is the ultimate act of strength. It means you are no longer trapped by the past. It means you have chosen freedom over bitterness. It means you are no longer waiting for their downfall to feel at peace the moment you decide to release the pain. Something shifts your mind, becomes lighter, your heart begins to heal, and without even trying, you start becoming the person you were always meant to be: stronger, unstoppable. And here's the irony: those who hurt you will feel it. They will expect you to stay angry, to stay broken, to be consumed by what they did. But when they see you smiling again, thriving, rising to levels they never imagined, that is when they will feel the weight of their own choices, because the best revenge is not revenge at all. It's moving forward. It's becoming everything they tried to destroy. It's proving without a word that they never had power over you. And when that day comes, you won't even care what happens to them, because you'll be too busy winning. There will come a day when the same people who hurt you, betrayed you, and doubted you will have no choice but to watch you rise. They thought they broke you. They thought you would never recover. They believed they had the power to destroy your future. But they forgot one thing: God never left here. Side C, when God restores, He doesn't just heal you in private. He blesses you in public. The very people who mocked you will have veto witness your success. The ones who left you struggling will see you walk into abundance. Those who counted you out will realize they were wrong. But here's the most powerful part: by the time it happens, you won't even care, because you won't be the same person who is desperate for revenge. You won't need their validation, their apology, or their regret. You will be too busy walking in purpose. God does not just restore, He multiplies. He doesn't just bring you back to where you were, He takes you further. And those who try to bring you down, they will be stuck exactly where they left you, watching, regretting, wondering how they lost someone they never should have hurt. That is how God handles those who hurt you. He doesn't just punish them, He promotes you. He doesn't just remove them, He replaces them with better. So don't waste your energy on proving them wrong. Don't lower yourself to their level. Just keep moving forward, keep healing, keep trusting, because the day is coming when you will stand tall in front of them, not to seek revenge, but simply because God lifted you higher than they ever imagined. There is no greater burden than regret, no deeper pain than realizing you destroyed something you can never get back. And that is exactly what happens to those who hurt you. At first, they feel nothing, they move on like nothing happened. They convince themselves they were right, that they did nothing wrong, that you were just another person who came and went. But life has a way of bringing everything full circle. One day, they will wake up and realize what they lost. They will look at their life and see how little they have grown, how the same cycles keep repeating, how nothing truly fulfills them. And then the memories will start creeping, and they will remember your kindness, your patience, your loyalty. They will replay the moments when you stood by them, when you gave them chances they didn't deserve, when you showed them love they will never find again. And suddenly they will feel at the weight of their own choices, the regret of knowing they hurt someone who only wanted the best for them, the realization that they were their own worst enemy. And here's the truth: you won't have to say a word, because life will teach them what you no longer need. To the pain they caused will return to them in ways they never expected, not because you wish for it, not because you sought revenge, but because the universe always returns what we put out. And by the time they realize it, you will be too far ahead for them to reach you. This is why you don't need to chase apologies. You don't need to wait for them to admit their mistakes. Their own life will show them the truth. And by then, the only thing they will have left is regret. At first, their absence felt like a wound, like something had been ripped away from you. You spent nights wondering why they did, why they left, why they betrayed you. But what if I told you their absence was the blessing you never saw coming? You thought they were meant to stay. You thought they were part of your destiny. But God saw what you couldn't. He saw there. Heart, He saw there. Intentions, He saw the destruction they would have caused if He had allowed them to stay. He removed them not to hurt you, but to save you. Because some people cannot go where you are meant to go. Some people are distractions disguised as friends. Some are lessons disguised as love. And some awaits disguised as support. You would have kept them longer than you should have. You would have held on, believing you could change them, believing that one day they would see your worth. God had to let them hurt you, not to punish you, but to free you. Because if they had never betrayed you, if they had never walked away, you would have never seen their true nature. You would have never realized that you deserve more. And now you stand at a crossroads. You can either grieve their absence, wishing things that turn out differently, or you can embrace the truth that they were never meant to stay. What God replaces with better the space they left behind is not emptiness. It is room for something greater one. Day you will look back and realize losing them was the best thing that ever happened to you, not because they were bad people, but because they were not your people. And the moment you fully let go is the moment God will fill that space with something you never thought possible. There comes a moment when you have to decide, do I stay stuck in the past or do I step into my future? Because the truth is, holding on is easy. It's easy to replay the hurt, to relive the betrayal, to keep asking why it happened. But holding on keeps you trapped. It keeps you tied to the very people who don't deserve another second of your life. Moving on is not about forgetting what happened. It's about choosing not to let it define you anymore. Because here's what most people don't realize: the past has no power over you unless you feed at the pain, the anger, the resentment. It only stays alive because you keep giving it your energy. But the moment you decide to move forward, everything changes. You stop seeking closure from people who are never capable of giving it. You stop waiting for an apology that may never come. You stop hoping they'll realize what they lost. Instead, you focus on you, on your healing, on your growth, on becoming so strong, so fulfilled, so unstoppable that their actions no longer have an effect on you. And the best part, they will feel it. They will see you thriving, glowing, living a life they never expected you to have. And that's when they will realize they lost someone they can never replace. But by then it won't matter, because you will be too far ahead, too focused on your purpose, too at peace to care. So let this be the moment you choose to move on, not for them, but for you, because your future is waiting and it's time to walk into it without looking back. Forgiveness is one off the hardest things you will ever do, because it feels like they don't deserve it. It feels like letting them off the hook. It feels like saying what they did was okay. But forgiveness is not for them. It's for you. See, when you hold on to anger, when you replay the betrayal, when you keep that pain alive, you are the one suffering, not them. They've moved on. They might not even remember the damage they caused, but you carry it, you feel it. You live with it every day, and that's why forgiveness is so powerful, because it sets you free. Forgiving them doesn't mean you allow them back into your life. It doesn't mean you forget. It means you refuse to let their actions control you any longer. It means you take back your peace, your joy, your energy. Because when you forgive, something incredible happens. You release the burden. You stop carrying their mistakes. You stop giving them space in your mind. And you move forward without the weight of the past. That is why forgiveness is strength. It takes courage to say, I will not let this define me. It takes power to walk away, not in bitterness, but in peace. It takes wisdom to understand that what they did is their burden to carry, not yours. So today, let go, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. And when you finally release that pain, you will realize you were never trapped by them. You were only waiting to set yourself free, they thought. They broke you, they thought, their betrayal. Their lies, their actions would leave you shattered beyond repair. They assumed you would never recover, never rise, never be the same again. But what they didn't know is this God is a healer. What was meant to destroy you will only make you stronger. What was meant to leave you empty will be replaced with more than you ever lost. What was meant to break you will become the very thing that builds you into the person you were always meant to be, because God does. Not just heal, He restores. He takes what was torn apart and rebuilds it into something greater. He takes what was stolen and gives back more. And here's the beautiful part, the pain they caused will not define you. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it changed you, but it did not end you. It did not stop your purpose. It did not take away what God has planned for your life. In fact, it was necessary, because through the pain you grew, through the heartbreak. You became wiser through the struggle. You found strength you never knew you had, and now you are walking into a future they will never be part of. They thought they left you broken, but God is making you whole. They thought they ended your story, but God is just getting started. And one day, when you look back, you won't even recognize the person you used to be, because the pain will be gone, the anger will be gone, the weight of their actions will be nothing but a distant memory. All that will remain is the version of you that God was creating all along, stronger, wiser, unstoppable. And that is how God deals with those who hurt you, by turning their destruction into your transformation.